In 1963, a man stepped into the most powerful office in the car world and was shown the door. Not because he lacked status, but because the man behind the desk decided he did. Ferruccio Lamborghini ran a successful tractor company. He was rich, he was respected, but he had a problem with the clutch on his Ferrari. And Enzo Ferrari, the most arrogant genius in racing history, told him to go back to his farm machines and leave cars to the professionals. That one conversation cost Ferrari dearly. Ferruccio didn't write a letter of complaint. He didn't post a negative review. He went home, hired away Ferrari's best engineers, and built a supercar company from the ground up, one designed specifically to make Ferrari look second-rate. 60 years later, that decision is still paying dividends. Today, I'm walking through every level of Lamborghini, from the one that keeps the whole company alive to the ones that are never driven, never parked on a street, and never offered to just anyone. Let's get into it. Level 1. The Urus, the car that keeps the lights on. Every Lamborghini enthusiast on the internet despises this car. Every Lamborghini finance team thinks it's the greatest decision the brand ever made. The Urus is an SUV, 657 horsepower, twin-turbo V8, 0 to 60 in 3.2 seconds, base price $235,000. In 2023, Lamborghini moved around 10,000 cars total. More than 6,000 of them were the Urus. That's not just a product, it's the entire financial foundation. The truth nobody wants to admit, without the Urus, none of the other cars on this list get built. A hypercar at level 7, it exists because of the SUV at level 1. That's the arrangement. Who actually buys it? Not track drivers. The Urus buyer wants presence over performance. They want the badge recognized, not the lap time recorded. It's a status machine wearing a supercar's identity. And it works. Because at $235,000, it's the most accessible way to announce yourself to an entire city block. Level 2. The Huracan. The last of a dying breed. The Huracan is history now. Production ended in 2024 after 10 years on the market and over 20,000 units sold. The highest-selling Lamborghini sports car ever built. 5.2-liter V10, naturally aspirated, no turbos, no hybrid system, no electric motors filling in the gaps, pure combustion at 8,500 RPM. That exhaust note, the one that made pedestrians stop mid-stride and reach for their phones, is gone. Lamborghini will never produce another engine like it. The car that took its place is quicker, more refined, better by every technical measurement. But the Huracan had something the new one can't recreate. It was the last Lamborghini that sounded furious for the sheer sake of it. Pre-owned prices are already rising. The collectors figured this out before anyone else did. Level 3. The Temerario. The future, ready or not. This is the Huracan's successor, and it tells you exactly where every performance car brand is heading next. 4.0-liter twin-turbo V8, 3 electric motors, 920 combined horsepower, 0 to 60 in under 2.7 seconds, starting at $300,000. The Temerario is Lamborghini's first fully hybrid mid-engine sports car, and the question that still has no answer is simple. Will the buyers follow? The Huracan moved 20,000 units over a decade, partly because of how it felt to drive. Not just quick, raw, loud, mechanical. The Temerario is faster, but speed and sensation are not the same thing in this market. The next 5 years will reveal whether the new buyer Lamborghini is chasing exists in large enough numbers to replace the one they built the last decade on. Level 4. The Revuelto, the one that carries everything. $608,000. 1,001 horsepower. 217 miles per hour. The Revuelto replaced the Aventador as Lamborghini's top production car. They kept the V12, naturally aspirated, 6.5 liters, and bolted 3 electric motors onto it, because electrifying their flagship without keeping the V12 would have destroyed something that cannot be rebuilt. The 4-digit horsepower number wasn't an accident. Someone in that room understood that 1001 lands differently than 999, and they were correct. You cannot simply walk into a dealership and purchase a Revuelto. Lamborghini controls the allocation based on your purchase record, your relationship with the retailer, and your history with the brand. The first 2 full years of production were spoken for before the car was ever shown publicly. If you want one right now, you're either sitting on a multi-year waiting list or you're buying on the secondary market at a premium that will make your accountant seriously consider resigning. Level 5. Special Editions. the point where reason exits the room. This is where Lamborghini strips an already extreme car of every last trace of compromise. The Aventador SVJ 770 horsepower, 900 units produced. It held the Nürburgring production car lap record, not on a perfect test day with ideal conditions on the actual ring, against everything else in existence, and it took the record. Original sticker $517,000. Low mileage copies now change hands between $600,000 and $900,000. The Huracan STO, rear-wheel drive, 640 horsepower, a GT3 race car that someone at Lamborghini agreed to put road registration plates on. The rear bodywork is a single uninterrupted piece of carbon fiber, not assembled panels, one continuous component, because the engineers decided it was structurally superior and no one in that meeting wanted to argue with them. The Huracan Starato, an off-road Lamborghini, raised ride height, roof-mounted rails, underside armor, rally-tuned setup. It appeared completely unhinged. Every unit was gone immediately because obviously it was. Level 6. The Hypercars. Not machines, monuments. The Sian. 63 units produced. $3.6 million original price. A V12 mated to a supercapacitor hybrid system. Not a conventional battery, a supercapacitor, because it stores and releases energy faster and delivers power without the mass penalty a standard battery introduces. Current estimated value, above $5 million. The Countach LPI 804, 112 units, $2.6 million. A modern reimagining of the 1974 original. The car that wrote the Supercar template. Wedge silhouette, scissor opening doors, mid-mounted engine. Every sports car built after it owes a debt to that blueprint. Every unit of the modern Countach was claimed before the public even knew it existed. At this tier, Lamborghini doesn't list cars for sale. They select who receives an offer. The invitation itself has become the product. Level 7. The Veneno and the Centenario. Moving works of art. The Veneno. Produced in 2013 to mark Lamborghini's 50th year. 5 total units built. 3 coupes and 2 roadsters delivered to private buyers. A V12, 750 horsepower, and bodywork so aggressive it looks like something aerospace engineers rejected for being too theatrical. Original price $4.5 million. Current estimated worth $8 to $12 million. It has never once attempted to appear restrained. It was designed to be the most visually confrontational object ever placed on 4 wheels. It still holds that position. The Centenario. Produced in 2016 to honor the centenary of Ferruccio Lamborghini's birth. 40 units total, 770 horsepower, originally $1.9 million, current value $3 to $5 million, named after the man who started everything because one meeting went wrong. Here is the irony Ferruccio himself would have felt in his bones. He launched this company because he wanted to build the finest driver's car on earth. A real car for real roads. Something that would beat a Ferrari where it actually mattered. Out in the open, not behind glass. The most valuable Lamborghinis ever created are cars. Their owners will never take out of storage. They sit in temperature-controlled rooms. They gain value. They are financial instruments wearing body panels. Ferruccio built a company out of wounded pride. And 60 years on, the ultimate expression of that company is an object too precious to touch. He would have hated every bit of it. He would have signed the check without hesitating. One insult in 1963. One man who refused to swallow it. A company now held by Volkswagen, built on Audi engineering, kept solvent by an SUV, and responsible for some of the most emotionally overwhelming machines ever given number plates. Every buyer, from the Urus owner pulling up to a hotel entrance to the Veneno collector who visits his garage like a museum, is doing the exact same thing. They're purchasing the loudest version of themselves they can afford. That's what Lamborghini actually sells. Not cars, not horsepower, not lap records. The sound of arriving. Like and subscribe. Oh, and maybe turn on post notifications. If you'll excuse me, I'm going to take my Huracan out for a little spin. As always, I'm Horace Goes 7, pip pip to do.